Hello, Merry Christmas, and welcome back to the annual Christmas Q&A. As always, my sister Mary is joining me.
Hey, everybody.
The other member of the family who doesn't appear in videos quite as often.
It's the one time a year people learn that I exist.
Exactly. She does exist, I can confirm. And Mary, what's going to happen right now?
You put a call out on Twitter for some questions, so we're gonna take a look-see through all these Twitter questions, and I'm gonna ask Patrick for the hard-hitting answers. I don't think that's how you say that. We tried to organize them, and then our attempt at that failed. So we're just gonna wing it, and sorry if we don't get to your question. There were a lot.
We will not get to all of them, and if we don't get to yours, blame Mary.
Oh boy.
And yell at her on the social media accounts she does not have.
You can't find me.
Ha-ha! Anyway, let's get going.
All right,
let's get going.
Let's dive in with a nice soft one. Christopher Dillon asks, what's your favorite cocktail?
Ooh, the one that I order the most, it's kind of a boring answer. My sort of like default one is an old fashioned.
Nice.
But I've been trying to like branch out and like learn to make more. I've recently been really into Sazeracs.
He makes very good Sazeracs.
Thank you. Yeah. Mary visited me recently, and I was like, Mary, let me make you this new thing that I've been making a lot lately.
It involves, what do you call
Absinthe.
it? Absinthe. Yeah.
A rinse of absinthe.
Yeah. Okay, Zachary L. asks, favorite Matrix Resurrections moment?
Well, but that would be a spoiler for people who haven't seen it yet.
Then you just have to wait and see. Hold tight.
Yeah, but I have favorite moments.
Tommy Hanusa asks, what is your favorite Christmas song from after 1970?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is good. From after 1970, okay. I think, look, if I'm going to be really honest, I think it's going to be I Wish It Was Christmas Today, a.k.a. Christmas Treat by Julian Casablancas, his cover of like the joke SNL Christmas song, which he turned into a legit banger.
Yeah.
I will say All Alone on Christmas by Darlene Love, which I think came out in the 80s.
Wait, do I know that?
Yeah.
Have you played it for me? It's not Christmas Baby Please Come Home.
No, I think you just don't know the songs by Darlene Love. Nobody ought to be all alone on Christmas.
Oh, that's Darlene Love?
I'm writing you a letter and that one's great. So yeah, so I'm gonna say I Wish It Was Christmas Today, then All Alone on Christmas.
Michael Picard asks, what was your favorite comic series of the year? If you didn't get around to any new reads, what's your favorite Batman book?
I got around to a lot of new comics, trust me. I actually kind of caught up on current comics for the first time in 2 or 3 years. My favorite series, this is technically a series, has been Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, which comes out in a series of like hardcover graphic novels, but two books came out this year, and so that counts as a series. And so it's got to be Reckless. I like it so much. And also, sliding into maybe at number 2 is another Ed Brubaker one that you read, Friday.
Yeah,
which
it's really good.
The first collected edition just came out, drawn by Marcos Martin and Munsa Vicente. And I love it. Basically, I'm just fully in the tank for Brubaker. I have a standing order at my comic shop to just anything he puts out, just put it in my pull list. Also, by the way, in terms of favorite Batman stuff, I think the Bat books in general are great right now, but the new Nightwing run by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo is fantastic. So, favorite Bat book, there you go.
Great. Boba Feet asks, what's your favorite cinematographer of all time? And what's your favorite work of theirs? Hard question. Favorite cinematographer of all time? Part of me wants to say Darius Kanji, but I think I'm going to go with, you'll like this answer, Caleb Deschanel. Yes.
And in particular, Caleb Deschanel had this run. I think these might have all been in a row, unless there was something, of course, I'm going to say it. There might have been something in between, but in the span of like a few years, he did The Black Stallion, one of Mary's favorites, The Right Stuff, and The Natural. and they're some of the best looking movies in the world. And I love them so much. And based on honestly that little run, I'm just like, I think I might have to go with Caleb D.
With Zoe's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody go see The Black Stallion.
Yeah. Yes. Carol Ballard film. My close personal friend Francis produced it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it says Francis Ford Coppola presents, like on the poster.
Oh, yeah. I have that poster.
I got you a print of the Mondo poster.
You gave it to me, so I should know that.
Yeah.
I will. Okay.
Exactly.
Here we
and
are.
It says it on there.
All right.
Mary doesn't appreciate the gifts I give her. Anyway.
Caitlin McCauley asks, what were the best and worst parts of making the season finale? Obviously still in process, but...
Yes. The best part, even though the actual experience was very stressful, and I'm sure I'll talk more about it when the season finale is out, because I don't want to spoil anything, but being able to have the budget to travel like pretty far with friends I've been working with since high school, just for the purposes of like shooting scenes for a movie.
It's really the first time you got to do that.
Yeah, it felt so validating. Kind of for all of us. It's like, wow, it's the same people. We've been doing this for so long, and look what we get to do now. Yeah. And what was the least favorite part?
Yeah, worst part, least favorite part.
I mean, the least favorite part, I think, other than, having to drag so much gear around the city with like a very, very limited crew, honestly might have been just at least for me, the intense pressure of like knowing like I had taken time off from the regular videos and then seeing the videos that I had scheduled for later on the calendar creeping up and realizing, oh no, it's still not done, and I need to and how am I going to make videos while this is still not done? And just trying to like coordinate this work with the other work that is paying the bills, and just the general pressure of this, and realizing that the timeline that we'd estimated was not happening.
Yeah.
So
that completely makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part.
Yeah, totally. Excited for this next question from Foot Clan Reject. Favorite action figures as a kid and also now?
Favorite action figures as a kid. Okay. I had a lot of Batman action figures, but for me, my priority was always, and this was weirdly tough, finding the Batman figures that just looked the most like regular Batman, because he'd always have like neon green aqua suit.
Do you remember that you had a pirate Batman action figure?
Yes, of course. Well, that was from the Legends of Batman collection, where it was like samurai just pirate Batman, like Batman, just like almost kind of like Elseworld stuff, like in different universes. But there was one that I was always a big fan of because it actually was like kind of a legit thing that he had. It was this Batman with like a backpack that had like these big bat wings that spread out for gliding. And the figure that came with it, this was an animated series one, looked like regular Batman.
Yeah.
I will say also, maybe a weird answer. I will say the Spider-Man doppelganger figure, which is like this like kind of monstrous Spider-Man with like a bunch of arms and like a big mouth and teeth and stuff like that, like a mutated doppelganger of Spider-Man. Yeah. That was a really great figure. And I also had this Silver Surfer figure that was like it was just a perfect Silver Surfer figure, and it was just I feel like the detailing on it and the sculpting was like a little better than most of the action figures. It was maybe like an inch or two taller. It wasn't like that big. It
wasn't movable, right? It was more just like a little figure.
No,
it was.
It had like lots of
articulation.
Lots of articulation, but it just seemed like a bit better than the other action figures.
That one was cool. I remember.
Yeah, but I still have them. They're upstairs in my parents' house.
They're all upstairs.
I had so many action figures.
Today, as an adult, what is your favorite action figure that you have?
Yeah, my favorite action figure today is actually one from the early 90s. It is, so As you probably know if you watch this channel, I'm a big fan of the movie Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
And because that movie had such a limited theatrical run, the Mask of the Phantasm line of action figures was around for a very brief time in the early 90s. And I remember I really wanted the jetpack Joker figure, like he has in one scene in the movie.
Yep.
And I could never find one. And maybe about like 6 years ago, good old Mary found one, like still in original box, and gave it to me for my birthday, and I was thrilled because it was the one that got away. To be really dramatic about it, and if I did take it out of the box, it is sitting on my shelf, and then you also, I think, like the following year, got me the new recent very nice DC Direct action figures of Batman and the Phantasm, looking perfect from the movie. But yeah, so there you go. Favorite action figure.
Pretty good.
I don't buy
you toys.
It's true. I don't buy a lot of action figures because there's so many, and that's a rabbit hole that never ends, and I don't want to lose all my money. So I mostly just don't allow myself to buy them unless they're a gift.
Yeah. Steph asks, you get an unlimited budget and time to remake any movie however you like. What movie do you make and why?
To remake any?
Yes.
So I've used this answer for a very long time. My go-to answer for what movie do you remake has always been Paul W.S. Anderson's Event Horizon, because I think the premise of that movie is great. I think the first half is pretty solid, and then it all falls apart and goes off the rails. Because, the great idea is, what if you combined a sci-fi movie with people like, in the future in space, like finding a space station, but also with like satanic horror. Oh. And great combo. And that movie does have like a great bonkers Sam Neill performance and Lawrence Fishburne. It just, Paul W.S. Anderson, not a director I especially love, and I don't think he sticks the landing. But that movie has so much potential. What if he did like a haunted house movie but on a space station? Oh. And I want to see a great version of that.
Danny Birdsall asks, favorite movies to watch on New Year's Eve?
A marathon of the Thin Man series. Ooh. Basically, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, TCM had that on, and I'd never seen them before, and I watched a bunch of them and was like, this is the perfect way to spend New Year's. Bunch of delightful movies about this great couple who were solving mysteries while just drunk the whole time. There you go. That's the way to do it.
Silas Chosen asks, what movie surprised you the most this year, positively or not?
Honestly, this might sound like a crazy answer, but I think Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh. Just because, looking at the trailers and all the stuff we kind of knew about the movie going in, it really seemed just primed to be just a really kind of empty, busy, just fan servicey clusterfuck. And it ended up it was emotionally satisfying and really fun. And I'd also been I hadn't really fully liked a Marvel Studios production in 2.5 years or so, and so I was maybe I'm just kind of over all of these, and then I had a really good time, and so that was a really pleasant surprise.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
We're working our way through.
Ooh. Sandwalk with me, I guess says, not asks, Mary, talk about Dune.
This, I assume, is in reference. So Mary visited me in the city in late November.
Yeah.
And Mary hadn't been to a movie theater in
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
I think since we saw Little Women at the end of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, Mary, you're going to the movies and you're seeing Dune. And Mary loved Dune.
I loved it. Unlike Patrick, I read the book in college and I really liked the book. So I was very curious and it was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the cast is incredible. The score is incredible. The visuals. I'm really excited for part 2. I'm actually rereading Dune now and really enjoying it.
See, Mary's taking it further than me. I am not reading it.
Yeah.
And I've also never read it.
I'm a fan.
You've now read Dune 1.5 times more than me.
Yeah, it's long. It's 800 pages, so it's a commitment. Yep. Yeah. There you go. Mary's thoughts on Dune. It's great. Okay, great question from Connor Fearon. Would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands?
Okay, that's
There's
an
an
easy question.
obvious answer to this.
That's really like a way of asking, would you rather have more opposable thumbs or no opposable thumbs? So
clearly, feet for hands.
hands for feet. Duh.
I hate opposable thumbs. No opposable thumbs for me.
I want to drop this glass right now.
I'm pretty good at picking things up with my feet, but it's not the same. Never mind.
Exactly.
This is a cute one. Noah says, what's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I have to ask this question from Renan. When's the Keanu pod coming back?
We got this question a lot. Just I was skimming through and I saw it a lot.
Yeah.
I wish I had an answer for you. Here's the thing about podcasts, because I'm currently doing no podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for you about either podcast that I have done before, because here's the thing. We're still not done with the season finale.
Yep.
It's taken a long time.
Yep.
And part of why I took breaks from the 2 podcasts I was doing was because the finale took over my life. Right now, the thought of just adding another responsibility onto my plate with another thing to schedule every week, the idea of it makes me want to start crying. So
No, don't do that to yourself.
no, so I can tell you, we all want to return to it. Also, Jake and Matt have things that they're busy with, but it will return. And I don't want to promise anything right now when I don't want to promise any specific time or date right now when I really can't do that.
Great. Brandon Lunk wants to know, how did you first get the idea to add framing devices to your videos? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So I think the very first framing device was really the first Patrick Explains video.
Oh.
Because at the time, the other... And really for like the rest of that year, because this was like, I don't know, maybe March, April 2017. All the other video essays were just regular video essays, no footage that I shot, just
Straight up
voiceover and clips and stuff. And it really came down to, I was gonna do that Patrick Explains video. It was gonna be me on camera, but I was gonna just sit in front of like a white backdrop, and it wasn't supposed to be a series. It was just going to be Patrick Explains the Fast and the Furious and why it's great. And then, I was like visiting my parents at the time. I was gonna shoot it in a different room in the house, and I just had this thought. I think like a day before, like, I don't know, wouldn't it be funny if I was like, if there was like a context for this whole monologue, and I was saying it to the parents, and I was like drinking whiskey and I had my sunglasses on indoors just to, I feel like to add some texture to it. And then basically what happened was I kept doing that series over that year, no framing devices in the other videos, in the other video essays. And then at the end of that year, I started making a video. People asked me to make a video about like how I make video essays. And halfway through making that, I realized, I don't like doing these. The process is not interesting or enjoyable, but I do like the Patrick Explains videos.
Yeah.
Because there's like, I like creating a premise for like why we're going to talk about this. Or just like, I like there to be a story behind it. Because that's what I'm just in general more interested in making. And that's why I decided, you know what? I'm just going to start applying that to all of the other videos so that I enjoy the process more. And yes, it does make it harder to make them, but also, for me, more fulfilling. So there you go.
Kevin McCabe wants to know, did you watch the Snyder Cut? Will you make the Zack Snyder video in 2022?
Yes to both. Of course, we all watched the Snyder Cut.
I
Let's be
didn't.
real. Well, you...
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Yeah. Okay, let me put it this way. But everyone watching this Q&A right
Has
now,
watched
other than
the
just like
Snyder
family members who are watching it to be nice, probably watched the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm still obligated to make the Zack Snyder video because of that Patreon goal. I'm not going to go back on that. I just wanted to put it off until next season, so that it was not like... The thing with the Zack Snyder video is that will probably bring in a lot of viewers just because of the topic, and I didn't want to necessarily alienate all of these new viewers right up top by being like, and it's like super deep into the season, and here's 10 minutes of stuff about a coconut before we even get into the topic. So I was like, let's wait until next season when the narrative stuff is like has like chilled out a little bit, and it's like it's more accessible and a better jumping on point. So, of course, yes, it's happening. That said, don't expect the majority of the video to be about the Snyder Cut. Because honestly, I didn't hate it, but I don't think it's the most interesting thing he's done.
All right, Lily Mason asks, what's your favorite singular episode from a show you love? I know that's a big question.
Well, it could be any show that I love.
Yeah, so pick a show and tell us your favorite episode.
Well... Lemon of Troy is my favorite Simpsons episode.
Yeah,
I did
so
do a whole
good.
video about
That's
it.
Perfect.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite television episode of all time, but you know, it's a really good one.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is The Rainy Day Women my favorite episode of The OC?
Oh. Is that the episode where it rains? Zachary Pan asks, do you cook? If so, how often? Favorite recipes? Guys, yes. Patrick has gotten into cooking. My whole family is very excited about it. For the past 2 years, 3 years, whenever it's his birthday or Christmas, we're like, cooking stuff, more cooking stuff. We're so glad that you cook now.
Yeah. At this point, I feel like I'm pretty well stocked as far as cooking stuff.
Yeah, I think we've slowed down.
I mean, yeah, there's like, I mean, there's still a few empty slots in my knife block, so I guess there are more types of knives I could theoretically get.
Knives.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not like an amazing cooking. I wouldn't say it's even like a passion, but I just was like, especially unsurprisingly during the pandemic or like during like the quarantine part.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I should learn to cook some more things.
Yeah.
And mostly I was just like, well, want to get better at cooking different types of meat and stuff like that. Recently, I've been trying to do more stuff with like types of lamb. Ooh. And different types of lamb chops and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, like racks of lamb ribs, that kind of thing. You know, I do love like searing those tuna steaks and stuff like that. So, yeah, again, I'm not like, you know, hosting dinner parties and cooking 7-course meals, but I'm, you know, I try to make an effort to not order seamless like the majority of nights each week.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ned Erdy asks, when are we getting more of your dad talking about rock music from 1968? Great question, Ned.
Yeah. I honestly expected Dad to just burst into the room with an answer right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, he talks about it all the time to us.
He does.
Pretty regularly.
I feel like it really, I mean, I don't know, it could always be a Patreon goal.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, my dad talking about music, it might just come up because like the time that he did the whole Quicksilver Messenger Service monologue in the Kevin Smith video, that was just a thing where I think like a couple days before we shot the video, we were just like, let's just do a scene where we say, Dad, talk about whatever you want. And then he does that, and that's what came out. So
more of those scenes. That's really what you need to take away from this.
Exactly.
Just
so
every Patrick Explains have a dad talks about whatever he wants.
Yes, it'll happen.
Yeah. Darth Amarth asks, I'm just here to do my duty as a concerned Twitter user to say, make Adam canon already.
Mary, how many of these are there?
There are so many. I have skipped over so many hashtag make Adam canon comments or questions.
God damn it.
So many.
Wait, so what was the question?
He's saying he's here to do his duty as a concerned Twitter user, and then the comment is, just make Adam canon already.
So it's not even a question.
It's not. It's a statement.
It's a demand.
It's a demand.
Didn't even ask nicely.
Wow. So it's not going to happen now.
Didn't even say
Darth
please.
Marth.
Or thank you.
Ugh.
See, that's the thing with these make Adam canon people. No manners. It's not going to happen if you're not nice about it.
Tisk tisk. Ace Librarian wants to know, after watching your videos on Little Women and Paddington, are there any other movie adaptations of popular literature that you believe have been as profound and fascinating? Wow.
I think so.
I'm sure there are. I mean, there's lots of amazing
A whole lot of movies are based on books.
adaptations of literature. But yeah, any that stick out, any movie adaptations.
Well, I mean, these are interesting examples because, for instance, like Little Women, since I did read the book, and Mary was very happy when when I told Mary that I had started reading it, she was like, "Okay, you need to call me every single day with updates on your progress in the book, so we can talk about what's happening."
Yeah.
I mean, that I think is an especially interesting adaptation in terms of like how it adapts the material.
Yeah, it does really new things with it. And there have been a lot of adaptations of that book already.
There have.
Yeah.
And Paddington, is an adaptation of a series. It's like, that's the thing where it's like, well, it took the premise of Paddington and then made a new story.
Yeah.
And so, I will say, we'll see if we get to it this year, I do have one idea for a video that I've had this idea for like a couple of years now that is specifically about the ways in which one book has been adapted. And we'll see if I get to it this year.
Are you cloaking this in mystery when
Yes.
you say one book? Okay. I wasn't sure if you were like, any book could be.
No. They're specifically about adaptations of a book. There's like I do have a. Yes.
Right, so you're teasing us right now.
We in the biz call this a tease.
Ooh. Adnan Ilyas wants to know, which comedic bit are you most proud of between all the videos you've made this year?
Okay. I have an answer for that, and I had nothing to do with this at all.
Cool.
I can take no credit for this. If anything, this comedic bit happened despite me.
Oh.
It is the reveal of Jake's whiteboard. Because the part where we reveal that Jake is actually secretly plotting to take down Charles, and then there's a part where like he's on the phone and he seems like he's on the team and like working with us, and then we see he's got this whiteboard with like, and the original. Here's what happened. Here's why. Thank God we have Jake. So I was like, okay, the gag will be, we then cut to this shot of a whiteboard and it says, "Plan to destroy Charles." And then there's just a giant question mark. And that was going to be the joke.
Oh, man.
And then Jake sent me the footage. And if you remember, it's just, he filled out every inch of this board.
Yeah.
And especially, and it with like a whole sort of like web chart about like theories about where Charles came from. But then there's a column on one side with his plan to destroy Charles by hosting Jake's Politics Corner and then get Charles as a co-host. And then it says, then I blast him like the movie Joker. And then in parentheses, maybe it should be called Jaker. And there's a little cartoon drawing of him shooting Charles. And I'm like, maybe it should be called Jaker. Is the funniest thing we've ever put in a video. And thank God Jake didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing was then we had to have that whiteboard in another video, and we had to have him redraw the entire thing.
Man.
And Jake that's when we're in the bar.
Yeah.
And Jake is there in the bar looking at like a screenshot of the original whiteboard and then redrawing it all there.
Oh my God.
Anyway, shout out to Jake.
Ooh, I like this question. Carbonara Kenobi asks, which Taylor's Version album are you most looking forward to?
Ooh. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an unoriginal answer, but I'm gonna say 1989
Yeah, same
because
as me. Yeah.
that's the Taylor Swift album I'm most familiar with.
Yeah.
I most know like inside
It's
and
when
out.
we became Taylor Swift fans.
Right, I was getting on board during the Red era.
Yeah, same.
I feel like it was specifically like 22 was where it clicked for me. I was like, okay, I get it.
You really loved that song. Oh,
Anyway,
no.
but 1989,
Yeah.
I'm really that's the one that I'm really curious about.
Yeah, and also I think we were talking about this, and we know those songs so well that I feel like I would notice any little difference in the production.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing. Like some of the songs on Red.
Yeah.
That I was like, aha, I know this so well
Yeah,
that
yeah.
every little difference. That said, I'm also really curious, like, with like also the later stuff. Well, I'm just like Reputation wasn't that long ago. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like what will anyway? But 1989.
Hey there, Pat.
How's it going?
Hey, Mary.
We're just shooting a video.
Oh, okay, good. I just gotta get a little chow out of the fridge.
Okay.
Do you want to say hi to your friends while you're just from off camera there?
Hi, guys.
That's our dad.
That's Hank.
All right, Aaron wants to know, what's a thing from your childhood you've been waiting for a nostalgia-fueled reboot of? Mine would be The Puzzle Place from PBS. Probably not, but I just like to reference The Puzzle Place because no one saw it, unless you didn't have any other channels like we did.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of channels for a while.
Yeah.
We got cable when I was in 5th grade and you were in 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the thing. I wonder if I'll actually be interested in these reboots. Because, you know, if... Like, they brought back the Powerpuff Girls, but, like, I didn't care because Craig McCracken and Gendy Tartakovsky weren't working on it. So,
It's true.
I don't know. But maybe if they made a movie of a thing. It's like, okay, I'll put it this way. It would almost assuredly not be good. If they made a Crash Bandicoot movie, I would see it. To be clear, I did not see the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I don't care about it, despite playing a little bit of Sonic. But Crash Bandicoot was kind of like, that was my platforming franchise as a kid. And so that one I would see just out of sort of like weird loyalty and curiosity.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donald Cole says, who handed up more? Jeremy Irons as Scar or Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith?
Absolutely Hugo Weaving. I feel like I'm not even sure I'd say Jeremy Irons handed up. I'd say he just gave a grand kind of like big theatrical performance. Hugo Weaving, especially when you get into like Reloaded and Revolutions, just gets like more and more opportunity. You know, like the scene in Revolutions where he just does the laugh, all of that. He really gets to just go as hard as he wants. And so he also has 3 movies where Irons got
true.
1. Also, Irons is only a voice role.
Right.
Weaving is there. Like, I mean, the thing is, like, Weaving is not only on camera, there are hundreds of him on camera. So yes, Hugo Weaving, obviously.
Sean Barnett says, thoughts on Bo Burnham and his latest comedy special, Inside?
Is this just a way of embarrassing me because I still haven't watched all of Inside?
It's really good.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
I
You liked the first half though, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I was traveling for work and I didn't have time to watch the rest of it. And I
okay.
haven't got, and then I was like, well, I want to start it over from the beginning. I've had time. What's wrong with me? I'll do it this week.
Lady Horatio asks, have you watched any Paolo Sorrentino films? If you have, what do you think?
I think the only Paolo Sorrentino thing I've watched is the first season of The Young Pope, which is technically the only one called The Young Pope because season 2 is The New Pope.
Are they eventually going to have an old pope?
I don't know, but there was the movie The Two Popes, which has nothing to do with those shows.
I know, and I got very confused.
Yeah, I always kind of mix up in my head. I was like, okay, Paolo Sorrentino and Pablo Larraín. And then I kind of lump in Luca Guadagnino, even though his name doesn't sound like theirs.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, okay, wait, no. So Pablo Larraín made Jackie and Spencer. Sorrentino made The Great Beauty and The Young Pope. And Hand of God is his new one, which I haven't seen yet. Anyway, I need to see more Sorrentino. There's your answer.
Okay.
I enjoyed The Young Pope.
Great.
Maybe I should watch The New Pope at some point.
You should also watch The Old Pope.
I'm going to make The Old Pope. Wait, maybe I should make something called The Old Pope before he can get to it.
Yes.
Ha.
Ha ha.
Exactly.
Take that, Pablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paulo.
Shit. Blues says, any movies from 2021 you think deserve more attention and that you want to spread the word for?
I mean, there's lots, considering that the only movies that made money in 2021 were, like, movies from one of, like, 4 franchises. So, yeah, I mean, even, like, very mainstream movies, like, I think The Last Duel is one of the best movies of the year, and it made, like, no money. Even things like, you know, West Side Story is underperforming financially, and I think it's one of, like, the 3 best movies of the year. I love it. But you don't need to, like, everyone's aware of it. I mean, maybe my favorite movie of the year is Titan. The it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. The Juliette Dacournau film. Is that how you say her name?
I haven't heard of it.
What a movie.
Oh, yeah?
It is
You
so
just
crazy.
Made a lot of sounds.
That's because I have seen this film,
Yeah.
and I felt like my brain was on fire at the end. There will be a video early in the new year where I talk more about the stuff I enjoyed in 2021.
Nice. Bugs asks, if you can pitch a crossover film between The Matrix and Paddington, what would it be like? Would Paddington be the chosen one?
Well,
Would we all be living in a Paddington Matrix?
Paddington becomes the architect and makes a new Matrix
and it's
that is
just
kind
so
and polite.
nice.
But would that be like, so you know, in the first Matrix movie when Agent Smith is talking about the very first version of the Matrix, which was a paradise, but people rejected it because it was too perfect and they could sense something was wrong?
Yeah.
Would that be it if Paddington made it?
Oh, that'd
Also,
be sad. That'd make me sad.
it would. Across from Paddington and the Matrix. This is... Well, I have a pitch, but then it would spoil the end of Resurrection, so I'm not going to say it.
All right. Hold tight.
But let me just say, it would be set after the new movie.
Liam Shanley wants to know, will you do a video about the value of movies still shooting on film?
I've had an idea for a video that I want to do involving film, like celluloid, as a format for a while. I think this would probably be like a bigger, more ambitious video. Maybe I could do it as a Nebula original because I could get a budget for it.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But basically, the thing is, I don't want to do a video talking about shooting movies on film if I can't actually shoot some of it on film, because I've never actually shot on film before. I've been on some sets of like student films that were shot on film. I've never actually... I don't really have experience with it, and I don't think I'm in any position to really talk about it.
Right.
If I don't actually experience it myself.
Yeah.
Because all I can do is sit here and like, you know, throw Blu-rays in and be like, I think this one looks better. And so I don't want to do it if I can't really be thorough about it.
That's fair.
Yep.
That sounds like a good answer. Friendly Filmmaker wants to know, what camera and lens do you normally film your videos with? Well,
this video right here, like all the videos for the past couple of years, is being shot on a Sony a7 III. This one we're using a Sigma 35mm lens, which I've been using for all of the talking head stuff, mostly because it's got good autofocus. So I always shoot the 35. So I always shoot the talking head stuff, like the essay portions, on a 35mm lens. I think for me that's like the right kind of distance. But then usually the narrative stuff, I shoot a lot of that on a 24mm lens, and for a lot of those I use vintage Canon FD lenses, like from the 80s, that are like all manual. So yeah, that's usually what it is.
Mike Cunliffe wants to know, if you were a guest on a late night talk show, what song would you have the band play when you walk on?
Do you get to choose?
I don't know, but in this scenario, say you get to choose. What do they play?
Yes, I would like the band to play a jazzy version of Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve.
Amazing.
Either that or very different, but this one is already a little bit jazzier. I wanted to play Go Power at Christmas Time by James Brown.
Oh my God.
I've just listened to that a lot lately because
Yeah.
Christmas. And if you haven't listened to James Brown's Christmas album, I believe it's called A Funky Christmas.
It's very good.
It's really good.
Yep. Yep.
There you go.
Okay, Wadjet asks, will next season of the show have any narrative elements?
Yes, because I don't know how to make these videos otherwise. I do not currently have. So I went into this current season, the whole like Charles arc, with a really I knew exactly where it was going the whole time. I pretty much had it all planned out. I don't have that with the next season, but we got some ideas, so we'll see what happens. But yes, the videos will always have narrative stuff in there because it's, as Speed Racer once said, it's the only thing I know how to do, and I gotta do something.
Leonard Goldbrandson says, what is a great underappreciated film from the 1970s?
I'm gonna say The Hot Rock, the Peter Yates movie.
I watched that.
Heist movie with Robert Redford. It is awesome. Based on the novel by Donald Westlake. Screenplay by William Goldman.
Hey. All right, Steven says, were you surprised at the following / popularity your parents have ended up with over the course of your videos?
Honestly, no.
Not at all.
I put them in the video because our parents are really funny in real life.
Yeah.
And I was pretty sure they would also be funny in the video.
And they were.
I'm just glad that they enjoyed it because they were like a little hesitant when I first asked them. And then they saw that people liked them a lot. And immediately they were like, oh, okay, great, never mind, we like this a lot. People are nice to us, we'll do more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really not surprised because they're just as entertaining in real life. Maybe more so.
Probably more so.
Yeah.
There's more dancing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when they're unscripted,
Whew.
anything can happen.
Oh, you never know. Zachary Penn wants to know films that made you cry the hardest. There are not a lot of these.
Not a
And
lot.
probably hardest is like a tear.
No. I mean,
no?
I spend the last 10 minutes of the Iron Giants just shaking.
Oh, okay, yeah.
some-
Well, the Iron Giant, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, what else?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, Toy Story 3.
Usually, animated movies,
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Kid stuff. Oh my God, Inside Out. Does Up make you cry?
Honestly, no.
The first 10 minutes of Up make me sob.
Yeah, it happens to almost everybody. I'm
Yeah.
a weird broken robot.
Well, I had to watch it in a film screening in college, and I was the only person that cried. And I was like, who are these monsters that I'm in this class with? No one else cried?
See, I remember, I think it was the same class that we just took a different
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We went to the same college.
Yeah.
When we watched The Iron Giant in a film screening for that
Yeah.
class, I went there nervous, being like, uh-oh, I'm going to sit in the back row because I know I'm going to cry. And then what was really, I guess, not fun, but a relief was while I'm crying, I'm looking around the room and I see all these people just sitting ahead of me, just like shaking. And I'm like, oh, good, we're all doing this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent question from Andy Rue. Which hedge did I drunkenly lose my hat and glasses in?
The one in front of your neighbor's house.
Just a guy wants to know.
Because I'm just a guy. Sorry.
But also really like the phrasing of this question. You ever play Magic the Gathering?
No. I literally never have.
All right, Being the Shoe says, who's on your casting shortlist for the next Paddington villain?
Well, I've been saying this for years, but this is the movie that I think Daniel Day-Lewis, DDL himself, needs to come out of retirement for.
Yes.
Because he's
Yes.
got to do it.
It'd be so good.
Yes.
It's gotta happen.
Daniel Day-Lewis, top of my list.
Yeah.
I'm going big. And remember, if your question doesn't get picked,
It's my
blame Mary.
fault.
And yell at her on Twitter.
Gordon D says, Dear Mr. Willems, in response to your recent Nice Guys videos, I have only one question. What does Adam Lane Garcia have to do for you to hashtag make Adam canon?
Did you call him Adam Lan Garcia?
Oh, Lance Garcia. Sorry.
What does he have to do for me to make him canon?
Yeah. What does he have to do? Nothing?
Pay me $5,000?
Oh. Okay, Adam. Ball's in your court.
The thing is, knowing Adam, he might, like, crowdsource that and do it.
Oh God. Please don't put your money towards something like that.
Don't support Adam.
All right. Entitled Millennial says, who are your top 5 action movie stars? Top 5 favorite action movie stars.
Oh my God! Top of action movie stars.
Action movie stars. Is Keanu up there?
Keanu has to be up there because Keanu has starred in
A bunch of your favorites.
not just my favorites, 3 of the most important. Keanu has he has multiple action franchises.
That's true.
He has starred in like game-changing action movies at different points throughout his career. Like Keanu's up there, Jackie Chan, obviously, Chow Yun-fat from largely his John Woo movies, also Crouching Tiger. At this point, I'm going to say Tom Cruise.
You have to say Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, he just has to be there.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Ooh man, I really gotta think now. Who else?
Vin Diesel.
I love Vin. I almost don't think of him as an action movie star, despite Fast and the Furious. Who else? Action Mount Rushmore. I think maybe you gotta say Bruce Lee. Just based on like the significance of it.
Yeah, great answer.
There you go.
Woo woo.
Wait. Or should Michelle Yeoh go in there?
I was about to say, this list doesn't include any women, but I mean that's more to do with
The genre.
the genre. Yeah.
Exactly. 'Cause I was gonna say over the past decade, Charlize Theron has been making like a good play at like reaching like action Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of like people who weren't traditional action stars, like becoming action stars. But I'm gonna put Michelle Yeoh in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Nice.
So sorry, Bruce Lee. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. Okay, Thomas Mariani says, at the end of 2021, how do you feel about the state of cinema, especially after Spider-Man and Matrix 4? It's a large question.
But yeah, big question.
Yeah.
I can promise you we're gonna talk more about this in videos next year.
Ooh, another tease.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, I feel like there's multiple questions there, or there's so many aspects to this because there's the state of like movie theaters, which I am concerned about. Although there's a very good article by Bilge Abiri in Vulture that came out a few days ago. I think it's called "The Movies Are Going to Be Okay, Guys." It's kind of like looking at like, look, here's why things are going the way they are in terms of movie theaters, but there is like, there is hope once we kind of get through this current period. But in terms of, I will say, I am. Wait, what's the question again?
The state of movies today, especially after The Matrix and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's lots of movies getting made today. I think, not all of them are being seen by enough people. That's such a big question, but let me put it this way. I'm a little bit concerned. I think as much as I was very excited by The Matrix Resurrections, because it is so wildly different from everything else that gets made, I think that movie is kind of an anomaly. And really only happened because, that was a rare case of as a franchise IP that happens to have like original creators that were basically, that agreed to come back as long as, she could do whatever she wanted. Most of things like that, the original creators are not given that level of control. So I don't think that's going to lead to a lot more things like that. Wow, I'm just rambling right now, but let me put it this way. I am following the state of cinema very closely, and there are things that worry me. But there's still a lot of stuff coming along that I'm still excited about.
Yeah. That's all you have to say. All right, Michael T. Christensen asks, in memory of one of the greats we lost this year, favorite Ed Asner performance?
Is it too easy? I mean, he's really great in Up.
Yeah.
Even though that's only...
Voice acting.
Voice acting. I don't know, I'm gonna say Up.
Yeah.
It's a
beautiful movie.
It's a beautiful movie.
It's a beautiful movie. Yeah, Ed Asner, R.I.P. I'm just gonna read this because as your sister, I get to. Corey Descharnay says, no real questions, just want to sincerely say thanks for all you do and share that we appreciate it all.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those.
Oh, wow.
And I know it makes you uncomfortable to hear positive things, but there you go.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks.
Nice. Okay, this is a giant question. If you don't want to answer it, you don't have to.
Let's see give me all you got.
All right, Huss Degree Out asks, what's the most important part of the process of making a film to you?
The most important part of the process. I think technically editing is the most important part. That's where, you can salvage stuff. That's, you can... My favorite part is actually the on-set shooting, even though that can also be the most stressful, but it can also, at least for me, be the most exciting.
Yeah.
I think editing is just the most important because that's where you're presented with with infinite options, and that's where you get as creative as you need to make it work.
Nice. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Alan Bernay asks a great question. He says, what question does Mary want to ask?
Well.
Thanks, Alan. And
So the question that Mary wants to ask, let me tell you. No, I'm kidding.
Terrible. Okay, so my question for you is, have you thought about in this next upcoming year, or maybe let's say next 2 years, if you want a longer period of time, doing something filmmaking outside of YouTube? I know years ago you talked about maybe making a short film and submitting it to festivals.
Can I just say yes? Technically the season finale is outside of YouTube because it's not going to be on YouTube.
That's true. That's
yes.
a good point. Are you planning to do more things with Nebula?
Yes. Look, I don't think this is a secret that, I love making internet videos and doing stuff on YouTube. I do not want to do it forever. And over the next couple of years, I would really like to, try to, go back and forth a little bit and make more stuff that's not for YouTube and find a way to kind of balance these.
Cool.
Yeah, so yes.
That sounds very cool. Thanks for answering my question.
You're very welcome, Mary. Thanks for asking it.
You're welcome.
And thank you...
Alan, either Bernie or Bernay, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it.
Yes, for asking Mary to ask that question.
Count Schlacula says, on a scale of 10 to 11, how awesome was Malignant?
I'm going to say 10.
I don't know what that is.
It's the new James Wan movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a horror movie.
Oh, I'm not going to see it.
It's really fun.
I don't like horror.
It's really fun.
Every time I watch a horror movie, I think, why did I do this to myself? I hate it. Harrison Webb asks, favorite non-2021 film you saw for the first time this year?
Phenomena by Dario Argento.
Is that the one that I saw with you?
No, that was Opera.
Oh, I saw Opera. Okay.
Phenomena is the one where Jennifer Connelly talks to bugs.
Right. Yeah, that sounded weird.
There's a monkey butler.
Monkey Butler?
Yeah.
Yay. From
Coming to
Sebastian Thomas Gittens. Has Mary seen the Fast and Furious films? I watched them because of your video. Will you please make more Fast and Furious videos like Blue Flame Special or a deep dive on why Fast 5 is so much better than the first? How 9 fixed everything bad about 8? So
True.
on and so on. To answer your first question for me, the important part is that yes, I have seen most of the Fast and Furious films.
I think you've seen most of them up to 7.
Yes, exactly. Patrick, I think you did this twice? Was it 2 times that you did the Fast and Furious marathon?
Only
or just
once.
Only once.
What happened was we did the marathon of the first 6 movies, and
Yes.
then I invited everyone to go see 7 in theaters, and there
Yeah.
were like 15 of us.
Yeah, so I went to the marathon of the first 6. And then we saw Fast 7 in theaters, and wow, that ending really destroyed me.
Do, 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 do. Sorry.
Did you have anything else to add about Fast?
Maybe I'll do another video about them at some point.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Ha. Okay. Parahelion Studios says, how do you feel about the Scorsese versus Marvel debate?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's so stupid because it shouldn't even be a debate.
Yes.
He's not trying to stop you from watching those movies. He just said a couple years ago, they're not really for him. It's stupid, it sucks, I hate it, leave Marty alone.
Marty's a good guy. Okay, Monarch of Flowers Most Carrot says, should Henry Cavill be in the next Paddington movie?
He could be, but I don't think he should be the villain.
He should be, like, nerdy. Because I recently discovered that he's a big nerd, and I think that'd be cute.
He is a big nerd.
Yeah. He should just
That's
be
why
like,
he loves being the Witcher.
I know. He should just be, like, a cute nerd in the next Paddington movie. Like, just like a side character that pops up. This is what I'm voting for. Okay. Eric Johnson asks, what's the oldest movie you can recommend that is 5 out of 5 stars, no notes, amazing?
I don't know, I don't know the exact dates of a lot of these
Yeah.
silent films. I don't know, what year was Metropolis? I don't know.
30s? It was in the 30s,
20s.
right? You're right. It was like late 20s. Anyway, Metropolis is great. Go watch Metropolis.
We're trying to go through these quickly now to fit in as many as we can
Yeah,
because Mary
okay.
doesn't have all day.
Okay, Marcos Armendaris asks, what are some classic movies that you still haven't watched?
There are so many, and it's embarrassing. Definitely, there are plans for videos in 2022 where I will finally address some of those. Somehow managed to go through college and get a cinema studies degree, and I still have not seen Fellini's 8.5.
Oh,
That is embarrassing.
I haven't seen that either.
Well, you weren't a cinema studies major.
No, I was an English major. Books, the other side.
And there's definitely no famous books that you haven't read, right? You've read them all.
I hate that question. Adam Lance Garcia asks, who do you love more, Paddington or Charles? There's a clear answer to this.
I didn't expect Adam to ask that question. There's another question that I really expected Adam to ask. Well, Adam, so as you might be aware, this video, it's not canon. This is a behind-the-scenes video. This is not part of the ongoing narrative of the videos. So, the things that I mention here, they're not actually canon within the world of the videos. So I can say right here that the answer is Paddington.
Yes.
I love Paddington the most of those 2 options you gave.
Because he's the nice and polite of those 2.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong.
Charles is not nice or polite.
But Charles has made me money. But Paddington.
Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon, says, what was the most fun thing to shoot this year? Least fun. Quick fire answer.
Okay, the most fun thing to shoot is a scene that I cannot spoil in the finale. Also, Jake's death scene was really fun.
Yeah.
Least fun thing to shoot, there's a scene in the finale, without spoiling anything, it involves multiple people in a room. Charles is also in the room. Because of the actor schedules, we had to shoot all of one person's stuff on one day and then shoot the rest of the scene on a different day when they weren't there, and then shoot the shots all out of order because we had just because their stuff was already done. Also, every shot with Charles requires shooting multiple layers, like background plates, the stuff with Charles. Obviously, his voice is not being done on set. It is so unnatural and so uncomfortable, and it takes so long. That was the hardest one to shoot.
That sounds very hard.
Yep.
Okay, Brian, she wrote, asks, will I ever find a love that lasts?
Hi, Brian. Yes, you will.
Oh, yeah.
This is my friend, Brian.
you can, Brian. It's gonna work out. You make great pies. Someone else that makes pies? Like, of course you're gonna find a love that lasts.
Listen to Mary?
Yeah.
Mary's a smart woman.
Ryan Alba asks, what's your most controversial Star Wars opinion? Could be fun to let the comments section spiral a bit.
Here's the thing. I don't think this will actually cause me as much grief as other Star Wars opinions, despite it being the most controversial.
Okay.
My most controversial Star Wars opinion is that Revenge of the Sith is the worst prequel. There you go. I've also said that before in videos, so
Okay, I'm gonna
deal with it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Which one is Revenge of the Sith again? I know.
It's the third prequel. It's the one where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Oh, okay. And people think that.
Usually, people think it's the best of the prequels.
Oh, interesting.
I think 2 and 3 are kind of there isn't a huge difference.
Yeah.
I like 3 maybe a little less. I don't care that much about it.
Yeah.
My thing is, I think Phantom Menace is the best of the prequels. I still don't think it's especially good.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think they kind of go worse as they go.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. These are the final few questions.
This is it, guys.
We saved the important ones for last. That's not actually true. These are just the last few questions.
Okay. All right. Mars, Alyssa's version says, Mamma Mia or Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and why?
Oh, okay. Not to be rude, but you do realize that I made a video about this.
Come on, Mars.
I made a video about how...
Did you not watch the video?
About how Mamma Mia to Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is one of the biggest jumps in quality from an original to a sequel ever. Obviously, the answer is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Obviously.
It is a huge improvement on the first movie.
So good.
And look, I think I have a video for you to watch. So go check it out.
Hey.
I believe it came out in June 2020. Yeah.
It was a light during
a dark time.
a dark time. All right, Cameron Gillum asks, did you like Taylor's video for All Too Well, and what would you like to see her direct in the future? Taylor is referring to Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Patrick and I have already had a long discussion about
we
this.
have. I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
I have very mixed feelings about the All Too Well short film. I feel like we're both kind of on the same page here,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
So here's my thing. I wish it wasn't a music video. I wish it had just been a short film.
And had full dialogue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because... So, this might get controversial if the Swifties are watching. Because I thought it was well shot and well acted, but the thing is, so much of the movie is the song playing, and the song is a lot of like very specific descriptions of events and like rooms and stuff like that. So the song is playing, and what is happening on screen is literally just showing you exactly what the song is describing.
It's literal.
It's so literal,
Yeah.
and it just feels kind of redundant to me.
Yeah,
where it's just like what more are you adding that I didn't already get in the song? And I think I've been following, Taylor Swift's evolving filmmaking career as she's started directing her own music videos and stuff like that. She got like Rodrigo Prieto as her cinematographer on a lot of her things. I think she's actually making some pretty interesting choices, and I kind of wish she just fully made All Too Well, the short film, a short film without the music video part.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, there's that one scene in the kitchen where the music cuts out and then there's dialogue there, and I wish the whole movie had been like that.
Exactly. Also, I didn't really need the ending
Yeah.
Where it's like, and then she wrote a book about, and I'm just like, this relationship is enough material for a song.
Yeah.
That's not enough for a book. It's not that exciting a relationship.
Yeah.
So, sorry. There you go. But that said, if she makes another movie, I will watch it.
Yeah. Very interested.
Yeah. Also, more importantly than the short film, the 10-minute version of All Too Well, I love it.
We love it.
It is like I can't listen to the 3-minute version anymore. It's 10 minutes or nothing.
All right. Phil's Janati asks, what game are you going to play this week?
Okay, so this is in reference to the fact that I tweeted about how right now the kind of the week after Christmas is the only time during the entire year that I ever actually take a break and play a video game. I
Nice.
brought my Nintendo Switch home with me
Yeah.
to my parents' house. I have not touched it since the first week of January 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play, and so I'm going to pick up Zelda Breath of the Wild where I left off a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm like 25% into the game. So I'm excited to finish it. I don't know, maybe in the next decade. And also I got Metroid Dread for Christmas, which I hear is really fun, and I often enjoy Metroid games, back when I played video games. And I'm excited to play that. So those are gonna be my two.
Nice.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good, relaxing time.
I think so.
Cool. All right. And then I think the very last question that we have up is from Chris Kuhn.
The final question.
Haha! And he says, is asking your thoughts on Matrix Resurrections the world's most predictable and dullest question ever?
No, it's not.
No,
But
it's-
I think a lot of people asked this.
A lot of people asked. Yeah.
I loved it. It made me so happy. And also, like, I care a lot about The Matrix. The first Matrix is my favorite movie. It's the movie that made me want to make movies. It means so much to me. Even like, you know, if I don't love the sequels as much, I'm still like endlessly fascinated by them. I love the Wachowskis. I have cared so much about this movie, and I've just been so hyped for it. And I loved it. And I loved that this movie so defiantly did not give a shit what anyone wanted it to be, or whether or not anyone liked it. It was what it wanted to be. And especially in the current landscape of franchise movies that we get a lot of, this was so refreshing and felt so different. And I think there's, you know, there's so much there that I'm excited to like watch it more and more times and get more out of it. I've enjoyed thinking about it so much since I saw it
Wow.
4 days ago.
You enjoyed thinking about it.
I have. I've just.
Wow.
I really. It made me really happy, and it like moved me, and I had a great time.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Mary, I was so excited to go back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix. Anyway, I think that does it.
Yeah.
For this year's Christmas Q&A. Thank you everyone who sent in questions.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sorry to everyone who didn't get their questions
It's
selected
my fault.
by Mary, the
The cruel overlord.
that's it.
The Twitter Q&A section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And seriously, Mary, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for watching.
Merry
Thank-
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank
Happy
you for
holidays.
Yep. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching the other videos.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks for letting us
Patrick
keep doing this
makes
stuff.
a living, and we're all very relieved about that.
That-
So thank you for making my family less anxious about my brother.
They're just happy I have a stable career.
We are, really.
And my parents also thank you. They're
Yes.
in the next room, and
Yeah.
they've just been waiting until they can like I don't know.
Use the kitchen again.
Yeah, and like talk again because we were like shut up, we're filming. And we weren't. We
were like-
we're nice to our parents. Exactly. Anyway, that's the end.
That's the end.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Hi everyone, we actually have one more question to answer. Mary missed this one. She definitely would have asked it if she had seen it. It comes from our beloved former intern, Emma. The question is, and I love this question, which Oasis album would you recommend to a first-time listener? So this is great. This is right up my alley because, as some of you might know, the music of the Gallagher brothers is one of my great obsessions. And so, for a first-time listener, as much as I would love to give like a really unexpected, off-the-wall answer, like Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, I have to just be really basic and boring and say, What's the Story, Morning Glory? It is their biggest, most popular album for a reason. It is the most accessible one. The album is like all singles. It's got Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, Don't Look Back in Anger, all of those on it. It has a good balance between, the song Morning Glory, which is just an intensely like really loud wailing guitar rock song, and then Wonderwall on the other end. It's got Cast No Shadow. It's got She's Electric. The deep cuts are great. I think if you're gonna find out if you enjoy Oasis at all, that's probably the place to start. And then, if you do, you can go over to my personal favorite, Definitely Maybe. So yeah, that's my answer. That's the end of the video. Glad we could get in this final, really important question. Okay, that's all. Bye.